Hey everybody, so today I'm here to talk to you all about our favorite outdoor toys. It is finally getting warmer out here in the Midwest. I'm sure for, people elsewhere and on the other side of the United States, it's been warm for a while, but it is finally starting to be appropriate weather for us to be outside. And I started thinking about it that I've never told you guys about our favorite outdoor toys. I might have mentioned a few here and there in my favorites video, but I thought that I would kind of put everything in one place because we have over the years collectively grown what we have outside for the kids to play with. All of these products I'm about to mention, the girls do play with. My girls are 4.5 and 3 years old, so we've had these, some of them, for at least a couple years, and they're still getting played with. They're still so interested in them. I don't think that they will grow out of them anytime soon, and I do think outdoor toys can be a slow investment. You don't need to buy everything all in one summer. You'll slowly accumulate stuff, trust me. And it also does help that one of our kids has a birthday in late spring, so normally for her birthday she does tend to get quite a bit of outdoor toys. So I will be leaving links to all of these items down in the description box below so you guys can find them, or at least items that are most similar to the ones that we have, because we have bought some things secondhand and you can't necessarily find the exact version anymore. But I'm just going to kind of go down a list. I don't have it in any certain order. Like I said, the girls love these all the same, and I'm going to try my hardest not to say that they like these or that they love these or anything like that, because like I said, they use every single one of these. The very first thing is this picnic table. This is something that we use indoor and outdoor. It's something that I'll pull in for like birthday parties and stuff so kids have additional seating, but it is something that we do try and use outdoors as well too, and it just provides a really nice place for them to sit down and eat food if we're outside, whether it be breakfast, lunch, dinner, doesn't matter. And I particularly like this one because it came with an umbrella, and I feel like the umbrella is pretty generous. It's nice and it's sturdy. Just like with a lot of these products, this picnic table does wipe up really nicely, so even if you're getting chalk, dirt, grime, food, whatever on it, I've been able to wipe almost everything off of there. And I don't know what it is, but the girls particularly love sitting at the picnic table versus like the little table that we have inside. I don't know, maybe it's just more fun because it's a picnic table, but it's something that I feel like is relatively inexpensive when it comes to outdoor stuff, but it can make a huge difference because it just allows them to have their own place to sit and do stuff as well. The next thing is this pole. Now, this is something that I spent a lot of time researching before I put on Remy's wish list for one of her birthdays, because I didn't know that inflatable pools were such a thing that like have polarizing reviews online. But there are you can find bad reviews for anything, but this looked like the most fun, and this company does make several different versions of this. Our neighbor a couple houses down have like a candy version. I've seen dinosaur versions. I've seen literally any and all versions. This company does come out with really cute ones. Regardless, we have really enjoyed this pool because it's allowed them to have that kind of pool experience without it being like especially deep or anything like that. They don't get bored because there's a slide, there's other things to do. It's got little things on it to make it interesting. I will say the arch is supposed to be a sprinkler, and we've tried to set it up, but the sprinkler part of it is kind of like a bendable hose that when you put it away and it bends the wrong way, it's just going to squirt the water wherever it wants. It doesn't necessarily go down on the slide, but my kids don't care. We don't really use it for the sprinkler. I will say that I read a lot of reviews about people saying that it popped on them and stuff like that. We put a very thick tarp underneath of our pole outside to kind of avoid that. So far we haven't had any issues. Like I said, the tarp is super thick, so I couldn't imagine anything piercing that tarp, and let alone piercing the pole. The next thing is this slide, and this is something that has become just as much of an indoor toy as it is an outdoor toy, but we did get it with the intentions to be outdoors, and it's just a basic simple slide. I will say it can handle a ton. My girls, as you guys know, I've said before many times, they're super rough on their toys, and this thing can take a beating. I think it's only like, right now on Amazon, it's only like $30. And this thing does really well for a $30 toy and all the abuse that it gets. But it's something that's super simple that, you know, I feel like me as a parent, I was kind of like, what are they gonna do with that? Like, it's just a slide. But I'm telling you, kids have a ball with it. The next thing is this dual twister. We got this one year for Mummy's birthday for her, and I'm so glad we did. I had one of these growing up, but it was not intended for two people. Me and my sister definitely did make it a two-person kind of twister, but the one I had was much smaller than this. It wasn't very well made either, but nonetheless, I remember it being one of my favorite toys. I will say that it does pose the situation of fighting and arguments and not sharing, but I mean, I have two girls, so I experienced that with almost everything. I'm pretty used to it, but I liked it because it could allow both of them on it, but at the same time, if one of them is on it, it's not like it's harder to spin or anything like that. Now, the reason why this could also be an outdoor toy, other than the fact that you can just plop it in your driveway, and it is that it actually does come with a sprinkler aspect as well if you want it to. So there's like a little hose in the bottom of it that you would attach your own garden hose to. And then I do believe that the sprinkler part is right in the middle of where they're turning, and it's supposed to spray up. Next up is this little Tyke Swing. I will say that now at 4.5 years old, Sophie is getting a little too big for the over-the-shoulder straps. I think Mark said the swing itself says even after a certain age, you're supposed to change the belt to be something different. So that might be on us. We personally don't have a swing set, so that's why we got this single swing. I wish we did have room to have two of them because they both do enjoy it that much and they could swing together and that would be fun. But we don't, we only have room for the one. But regardless, it's again one of those simple toys that just I feel like are timeless for a reason because kids enjoy them so much. Next up is one of the items that we did get secondhand, and that is the Radio Flyer bike. And my mom actually gave this to me. She found it through somebody who didn't need it anymore. And I honestly didn't think it'd get as much use as it did. I was just like, okay, thank you. But it is something that my kids argue over so much. That's how much they enjoy it. And I like it also because it has a lot of different stages. It's one of those bikes that can be as much as you need it to be or not. And I also liked that it does have the handlebars for parents because we're able to take this on walks that might be on the road or someplace that I wouldn't necessarily want her to have full control. So for that reason, we've really enjoyed it. A lot of the time, Mark will like let Sophie, you know, if we're walking somewhere, let her have control, but if she starts to get a little crazy, you can grab those handlebars and you're in control. So it's something that I think it's a little bit more expensive. I think these things can be around $75-ish, but honestly, it's something that you can use through a lot of ages, over a lot of years, through several kids if you want to, that I think it's very much well worth it. Next up is another mom favorite from when I was a kid, and that is the little Tykes Car and also the little accessory gas station to go with it. And this is something that, like I said, I remember from my childhood. I spent forever in that car. I loved driving around in it. I loved pretending to be able to drive. I believe the car that I had wasn't this one exactly because I think mine had a trunk and I was able to stick my little sister in it a lot of the time. But I do know that I had a gas station and we had a play car and stuff like that. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and my kids have as well. The gas station is super cute. I didn't know how much that would get played with, but now that Sophie's older and she can understand like the basic concept of a real car, she does understand that cars need gas. So now she has a lot of fun pretending to go to the gas station and fill up. She has fun like rolling the car up to the Playhouse and she'll pretend to like, you know, like order food or something like that, and she has a ball with it. That car also can take a huge beating. It has had chalk all over it. It's gotten thrown off of our deck accidentally by wind and stuff like that, and nothing has ever came off of that car. It hasn't broken in the slightest or anything like that. And the gas station as well, it must be battery operated because it does have different sounds on it, and I thought for sure after a couple of storms that we've had out here that it was just going to be gone. But I was like, you know, who cares? They hardly ever even hit the buttons. But it still works. So it honestly can hold up weather-wise through a lot of stuff too. And it still makes sounds and everything. So both of them have been a really great addition to our outdoor toys. Next up is this Wagon. I will say it's probably one of the lesser used ones, but it's something that I'm grateful that we have when we use it. I like this one because it does have a canopy, but it is soft structured, so if we want to take it off, we can take it off no problem. It also has little trays that come with it too, so if you're having them eat or something, you can just pull out the trays and they've got their own little kind of station to eat at. It again is one of those more expensive outdoor toys, but like I said, even though we use it here and there throughout the summer, it's not constantly in use. I'm really glad we have it when we do because it can make different situations a lot more fun. Next up is one of the newer items that we've got, and it is this Sandbox. Now, the link that I'm going to have you to is just the Sandbox, so you're going to have to buy sand from somewhere else. We went and got ours at Walmart, I believe, and it was only about $4 a bag, and we used 3 to fill it up, I believe, if I can remember correctly. So it was only about $12 worth of sand on top of whatever the price of the Sandbox is. Now, I will say if you live somewhere windy, if you have stray cats that frequent your deck, I would highly recommend doing something to kind of fixate the lid on top of here. I personally like this Sandbox because it looked like it had the most room, and also because it had little places for them to sit instead of just directly in the sand. Sophie definitely doesn't care. She'll sit right in the sand, but Remy doesn't really like that feeling, so she tends to just sit on those little seats in the corner. But regardless, like I was saying, we have done things to kind of fixate the lid on there for when we're not using it. That way it's not getting blown off by the wind, it's keeping stray animals out, all that good stuff. It's something that I've been wanting to get for a while, but again, it is kind of expensive because you've got the Sandbox on top of the sand cost, and then also you're gonna get sand toys. I knew it was gonna be a little expensive, so that's why we've kind of just waited and got other things first, and I'm so glad we have it now. It's been a lot of fun. It's, you know, fun for the whole family. It's fun to play in the sand with them and stuff like that too. Second to last thing is our Playhouse. The one I'm going to link you to is the one most like it currently. They have had this specific named Playhouse for quite some time, but they come out with different versions every once in a while, and I chose this one. Well, we got it secondhand, but I did some research on ones beforehand, and I went with this one because it was not overly priced. Like, we weren't getting into the $300 for the Playhouse, but at the same time, it did still have things to make it interesting. It does have seats, it's got like a fake sink, it came with a phone and a doorbell, a couple of windows, you know, things to make it a little bit interesting, kind of stimulate them a little bit more than just being kind of an empty shell in there. And I'm very glad we went with this one because it's got a ton of love, and if you can find Playhouses secondhand, I would really recommend it. I will link you in case, you know, you don't want to or you can't find it. It's been great to have. And then the very last thing that I have for you guys is the water table, and man oh man, did I stress myself out over this. This is something where we did have a water table at one point in time, but something happened to it. I can't quite remember. I can't remember if it got broken or something happened to where it was unusable and we had to get a new one. So I went ahead and I started looking at water tables, and you can find cheaper ones, but I wanted something that I felt like would last. I didn't have to worry if it would break. Would it be entertaining enough? Because I mean, a water table is pretty fun in and of itself, but at some point, if it doesn't have other things to do, your kids just end up trying to stick their whole bodies in it. And I was trying to avoid that because our other one was kind of more open, and that's what they were doing. They were like sticking their whole torso down inside the water, and I was like, maybe we've got some other stimulation on there. Maybe they'll try to crawl into that thing less. And thankfully, that's what this water table has done. It has this huge top part that basically when you dump water into it, it'll sprinkle down and it'll look like rainfall, which was really cool. And then on the side of it, it comes with different kind of, I don't even know what to call them, just these little pieces where you can guide water through different places, and you know, there's like a little mini scale to tip the water if so much gets in it. And it came with a bunch of toys that I think we've now lost the majority of them. There was squirt toys and there was buckets, but it was something that I was worried about price point versus if it was worth it. And now after owning it for a couple of years, I definitely do agree with how much it costs, and it is a great water table. But those are all our favorite outdoor toys. Like I said, we definitely did not get this overnight. We didn't even get it in a year. It's just been a slow trickle in of things we've found secondhand, things that we've gotten for birthdays, things that we've just bought for the summer because we thought it'd be fun. Let me know down in the comments what your guys' favorite toys are, because, you know, maybe I missed some and maybe we need to acquire some more. I'm sure my husband would love that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.